Hey, hey, salutations, salutations, everyone. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone had a good day today. Um, I hope that I get as many people as I can to join me live. My special guest is Pastor Christopher Hosey of Gresham Park Christian Church. He's going to be a little late. He asked that we started this a little bit later because he got pushed back due to work. So I told him I was going to hold it down for him um, until he makes it here. So I just thought I'd just engage with you guys a little bit. Like I said, I hope everyone is doing well. I finished work a little less than an hour ago, and you know it was um, it was, a little busy but productive at the same time, so I was able to get quite a bit done. Um, so I'm hoping that, like I said, I'm hoping I'm able to engage as with many people as possible. I hope that some people from, come in from the audience, and if not, they can always catch the replay. But we prefer that, you can show yourselves here. So I know there's been a lot going on. In the world and in the YouTube streets. I mean, it's so hard to know where to begin, to like really know what to touch on because I do pray for those families who are affected by the hurricane in Jamaica. Please keep them in your prayers. They need as much as help they can get to recover from this devastating disaster. Um, and also my prayers to the families that are also affected by this government shutdown. You know, um, People they have divisive feelings in regards to those families who are without government assistance. And there's so much that we could kind of unpack there, because there are some people that are still have this perception that um, those who relied on government assistance and it's just been snatched away from them. They just make it sound as if it's so easy for some of these people to just bounce back or just pick up, they always get the perception every time there's, you hear about government assistance, food stamps, Medicaid, oh, any type of government assistance, they always assume, excuse me, they always assume that the person is lazy or they're counterproductive. But there's so many different reasons that you seek government assistance. And with food stamps, I mean, I think there's a lot of us that wish we had access to those type of benefits because groceries are extremely expensive, and a lot of times you have some people that have to kind of maneuver their bills to offset whatever got to pay for food in their homes. So I just, don't understand why so many people are so divisive over those who need that type of government assistance. And it is not like, being this country is sitting on so much money. I mean, I don't know why they make it seem like they give um, so much to those families who do receive government assistance because it's really nothing compared to, what's being used for other countries, to provide resources for other countries, you know. But yeah, I just really definitely empathize with those families because I know firsthand what it's like to be in a bind or be in a situation where you have to use some type of government assistance to offset um, other expenses, especially, excuse me, got a tickle in my throat, especially when you when you are in between jobs or you got laid off or a spouse passes away or you have, children you have to feed. There's so many different circumstances outside of what you may perceive. Because I mean, there are people out there that misuse the system. There are people that do get over. There are people that are corrupt, you know, in this whole thing, and we get that. But there are rich people in in a higher caliber that are way more corrupted, way more corrupt. They're just able to cover it up more. So So yeah, I just hope that everyone is just kind of just be able to overcome this because I mean, God has brought us through so much, you know. God is, in control, and so I depend more so on Him. I know that election day was yesterday. I know a lot of people went out and voted, and I don't discuss, I'm not going to get into that whole um, who voted for who that or get into the whole politics of it all. But I do understand how important it is to be aware of who's in office. It's important to be aware of what the bottom line is. Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to just uh, make sure that let me see. Okay, so I just got a message from Pastor Hosey. He's saying he's having some issues, so he's trying his best to get to his laptop. So, like I said, I'm just gonna continue to hold it down. Can you pardon me as I go off camera real quickly? I'm gonna still be on, but I'm just gonna go off camera real quickly, just so excuse me one moment. So yeah, so he just contacted me. So let me just find out what's going on. I hope everything's okay with him. So just give me one moment as I message him. All right, just give me 1 second. Don't move. Don't move. All right. Thank you for waiting. I, had to, see what's going on with Pastor Hosey. He's, had a little setback, so I hope everything's okay with him. He'll I guess he'll update me as he goes along. Um, hopefully everything's okay. But in the meantime, because I didn't really have, I was just expecting to just come and talk to y'all for just a couple of minutes until he came on, because he's supposed to be here by now, but like I said, he has a little setback, so hopefully everything's okay. But if anything, I'll let you know, and we just if we have to make some other arrangements, like I said, we could definitely update you on that. But I appreciate your support nonetheless. Um, yeah. So I'm just gonna just wait a moment. Yeah, I was actually last night I was listening to Kiki Wyatt's ex-husband. He did an interview with Tasha K, and he was speaking on how they met. They known each other since they were kids, and how they got together. And it's really interesting if you go check it out. It's quite interesting, and it was really I also empathize with all the traumatic experiences that he had growing up. He had an abusive father that and he was sharing a lot of gory details about his childhood. So and then he was sharing details about again his marriage to Kiki and their child together. So yeah, of course, it's quite interesting. All right, so yeah, I'm just trying to um, wait on Pastor Hosey. Um, Also, I just wanted to take this time to announce and make sure that you tune in. My next interview is this coming Saturday at 3 p.m. Um, I'm going to be interviewing with TV Tone. He is a sanitation worker as well as a creator, as well as a model. That's one thing about my channel and my platform. My goal is the overall objective of this platform is to have a safe space for all types of different perspectives, different all walks of life, and and shed light on those that are not spoken about them, or taken for granted. And so I wanted to kind of dig into the life of those people, like the sanitation workers, the essential workers, the government workers. So I'm looking forward to having TV Tone on. That's this coming Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I just want to thank everyone who's been supporting me throughout this journey so far. But then the last few months that I've been on YouTube, like I said, this is such a different lane for me, but I'm just still getting into the groove of things. I've been blessed for to have people that are willing to take the time to sit with me and talk with me and share with me. I'm grateful. I don't take that for granted because Lord knows you don't have to come to my little piece of platform to sit with me and to pour into me and give me words of encouragement and just having so many different gems and so much advice and just being able to share so much that I can relate to that I resonate with. So I do appreciate all of the great people that came on so far, and I'm grateful to be able to still, even with the content that I do in between, I'm hoping that you get something from that as well. So I just appreciate the support that I've been getting so far. So shout out to all of you. um yeah, yeah, so I'm still waiting on Pastor Chris. I hope he comes soon, because I'm trying to trying to just find some things that I could kind of still keep you interested. I don't want to, because like I said, I didn't have any, you know, other content other than this interview. So, because I was going to just find my rhythm in that, so I'm just trying to just kind of free fall it for now. Please bear with me, you know, just pray. I pray that pastors, everything, is okay with pastor. And so, let me see what else is going on. There's so much going on in social media. It's so hard to kind of even pick and choose, what to even talk about, what to get into, what to discuss, and how to just unpack it. Try to figure out, um, like I said, where to begin with. All of these stories. I'm just trying to, find something. Here to talk about. I just wish um I just wish I had some folks that could talk to me, or just engage me in a chat. That would help to be able to, kind of come at me and, give me some ideas of what to discuss, give me some ideas of, you know, what we could get into. Um, so I mean, what shows have you been watching? Um, I've been, watching Beyond the Gates. That's been, the last few episodes have been kind of blasé, but they're starting to pick up. I'm still trying to contemplate as to whether or not I'm going to do any reviews on any shows, or if I decide to watch a particular movie that I want to do a review on. Let me know that, please. Like, if you even if you comment on the chat and give me some feedback on whether or not you want me to start reviewing a particular show. I even thought about doing the reviews on the Country Wayne skits, so I could just kind of get in the, I could kind of get in the loop as well. Because if you are familiar with the Country Wayne skits and the Country Wayne sector of those content creators who get engaged and get all into the Country Wayne skits and their storylines, it's a time it gets lit. you get frustrated with some people, you add your perspective and and it gives good dialogue. I know some people might say, "Oh, it's just a show. It's for entertainment." Yes, there's a lot that's out there that's for entertainment purposes, but it also is a lot of stuff out there that is thought provoking. It warrants conversation. That's why we watch. You watch certain content for that reason, in order to um it ignites a dialogue. And that's what we do. So just let me know in the chat or in the comments if you want me to review any particular show or movie that we could discuss and talk about. Um yeah, but those country wayne skits. Yeah, and what else I've been watching? Reasonable Doubt, that is a show that I've been, watched from the beginning. That's on Hulu. Um, Predominantly black cast, a court show, which is very good. Um, and also Abbott Elementary, their new season just started, so I've been enjoying that. Because at first, initially, I didn't know, I wasn't sure about Abbott Elementary, even though the show had rave reviews and was so popular, and so many people was give us such high regard to the show. And it's nothing against the show, but I wasn't sure whether or not I wanted to get into another show, evolve around the school setting, around school and students. Coming of age type of. I thought it was one of those type of shows, but when I started watching it, I started binge watching on a plane one time. I was traveling, and I was like, okay, I can get into this. Yeah, so shout out to Quinta Brunson, I mean, she is just a genius at this, she's the star and the creator of the show. So, I mean, shout out to her. All right, so let's see what's going on with Pastor Chris. Let me I'm about to excuse myself again. I'm gonna take myself off camera on mute so I can see what's going on with Pastor Chris. So please bear with me and just hold on for 1 second, please. I'll be right back. Yeah, I'm still here, you guys. I really appreciate your patience. Please bear with us. Please bear with me. I'm still waiting on Pastor Hosey to give an update on what's going on. He said he has something going on his side. So I'm trying to stay on as long as I can. I don't want to string you guys along any further, but um, just please bear with me. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm just waiting on our guest to let us know. I don't know whether he's going to be able to come on or if I need to reschedule this for um, another date and time. But I just hope that I get an update soon so I can give you guys an update and see where we go from here because I don't want to keep this live lingering too long. But just bear with me. I'm still here, okay? And I'll be back.
Hey,
Mhm. Hey, Pastor, everything good?
yeah, God is good, so I ain't gonna complain about it.
All right, yeah, we were waiting on you, so I was just trying to hold it down because next time I think I'm gonna have to, just in case something like this happens. This is a teachable moment for me personally.
Hmm.
I'm gonna make sure I prepare myself to do another type of content, until that person is able to come on because I know things like this happen. So I
You know
said, let
what?
me, yeah,
First off, I want to apologize to you and your amazing audience. I have wife and children, and
right.
at the
Hmm.
last minute, some children stuff came up, so I had to handle that and then make sure they ate. So
Okay.
I had
Yeah,
to
that's
take care.
see that there you have it. See, that's why I said, we like I said, we understand here, so and we get it, but I'm just so glad that you made it up. But like I said, but like I said, it's a cheap teachable moment for me. So in case something like this happens, something like this
Hmm.
comes up, then I'll have something else like to use as content, whether it's a reaction video or some type of story I can I can add my perspective to. So, this
Hmm.
is a teachable moment for me. So I don't have to keep them waiting. But we're here. But let me do my intro. So here he is, Pastor Chris Hosey. He's our guest tonight. He is the current pastor of Gresham Park Church. He was the former
Yes.
assistant pastor of the Christian Church East Point. He was the assistant pastor to Pastor Ram Burton, who I interviewed with it a couple of weeks ago. So please make sure
Hmm.
that you look out for that interview or check that interview out, by the way. I did it about a couple of weeks ago. So please make
Yes,
sure you
I
look at
checked
the
it out. It
interview.
was really good. It
Yeah.
did really good.
Yeah. Chris, let me do my intro. This is my intro here. This is my intro. This is my intro. Yeah, so so I've been knowing him for a few years now, and he very very down to earth. If you thought that Pastor Ram Burton was down to earth, brother Chris Hosey is down to earth as well. Very relatable to talk to. Very good person to feed off of, and a person that will pray for you and pour into you whenever you need to. So I really am privileged to have him on and for him to take the time and make the time to join me tonight. So I do appreciate you for coming. So I want to have the audience to give it up for Pastor Chris Hosey.
Thank
Thank you. All right. So, Pastor, I mean, everything good with you? I mean, are you good? Like you settled in, settled in?
you. I'm settled in. I'm ready to go. I'm
Okay.
ready.
All right. Good, good, good. Yes. So I always like to start in the beginning, before you became the pastor, you became
Hmm.
any type of minister,
Hmm.
you had some humble beginnings. You had a past with the pastor, like Pastor Man would say, there was a past,
Hmm.
so I want to
Hmm.
go into where were you born and raised?
I was born in Joliet, Illinois, but I was raised in
Oh,
East Point, Georgia.
you say you was born where in Illinois?
In Joliet, Illinois.
Joliet, Joliet.
Joliet. Yep. Let me see. I'm trying to get a good background. Yeah,
Yeah.
Joliet.
You have a little bit more lighting, 'cause little bit you have a
I,
like a brighter you have like you're able to have a brighter light?
I do not at the moment. I hope it's people can see me as good as they can, but I am in a room and this is the brightest light that I do
Oh,
have.
okay.
It's my office space.
It's your office, okay.
We
Yeah,
gotta
so you
set the
said you
mood. We gotta set the mood when you write these sermons. You gotta set the mood.
that's true, that's true. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanna get more into that,
Hmm.
that process that you do. But yeah, so
Hmm.
you was born in so, when did you, come to East Point?
I've been in East Point since I was about 7 years old, maybe about seven. So from a
Oh,
kid,
okay, okay.
probably younger, yeah, about maybe 6 or 7. I went to elementary school in East Point, middle school, high school. So I was raised. I consider myself a Georgia boy. I've been here too long, and if I go up there, they say I'm country. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Yeah, so, what was, the family dynamic like for you? Were you raised, two-parent household, single parents, siblings, cousins? What was
that's
that, like for you?
single mother, brother, sister, mama. My uncles came here and there, stayed with us. So I was the typical single mother doing her best to raise 3 children, and I'm her best child. I tell her that all the time.
Oh, oh, that's what you tell her.
Yeah, that's what she may not believe it, but that's what I tell her.
What makes you think you're the best child? What makes you think that?
I don't know, I'm the smartest. I look the best. I just
Ah,
got all. I got. See, I got the first. They got the leftovers.
oh,
So that's what I tell her
oh,
all the time. I got all of her,
oh,
and they
wait till
got the
they hear this.
leftovers.
Oh, wait till they hear this playback. Oh, wait till they hear this. Oh, you the oldest?
I am.
Oh, you are. Okay.
Mhm.
And what is the order? About how much? How many years? How many years?
I think my brother is the youngest, so that's 5 years. Me and my sister, rest in peace. She's 3 years younger than me.
Oh, okay. And so, what was it like growing up though in that within that household with siblings?
Hmm.
'Cause, I was the only child till I was 13. So, what was like growing up with siblings in the household with the single mother?
I was a leader. I was a father. I mean, I had to reinforce what she wanted done. I had to make sure things get done. I was her trusted source until they got able to get old enough. When she needed to work, I needed to hold it down.
Mm.
So, um, I mean, just like siblings, you clash, you fight, but that's typical.
Yeah, that's true. But so let me ask you, did you
Mhm.
have any type of relationship with your father?
Yeah, I did. I did have a relationship with my father. It wasn't the greatest, but he struggled with some addictions. alcohol, but overall, he did. We did visit almost every summer. He did his best with what he was capable of doing with managing his drinking.
Oh, so he did manage it. He was able to beat his
No,
addiction?
no. I mean, some people
Oh.
some people can go to work
Oh,
and be
yeah.
perfectly
Mhm,
fine and come
mhm.
home and so but as I grew older and I matured, I realized this was just a battle that I couldn't that just didn't happen overnight. That just wouldn't be solved overnight. Sometimes when we as children, when we look at it, we don't understand it. But alcoholism is a disease that can control you in every avenue. So when I gave my life to Christ, Lord told me I needed to show him more grace than what I was doing. So I didn't visit him for like 8 years, and then once I gave my life to Christ, I went back up there.
And what was that like for you?
I mean, it was different. It was hard. I'm from the streets. I'm from the projects, and you gotta give grace to somebody who don't deserve it, and
Yes.
you gotta be able to resist your flesh from reacting in a way that you would normally react. But because you're not of the flesh no more, you gotta react differently. So it was hard. It was very hard.
Yeah, of course it is hard because I know I understand what that's like too growing up with, I had, my I talked with my mom on here as well, and she told her story about addiction.
Hmm.
I came from that background as well, and how she always commended me because she's like, you always respected me, you never looked down on me, even when I was at my worst, you never when it was one of those kids that was embarrassed by me or anything, never pushed me away. And so,
Hmm.
I, do understand about the grace. And even though I didn't really understand it fully, even at that time, junior
Hmm.
high, having to be taken from home and being raised by someone else, but that's another conversation. But just
That's another story.
yeah, so but yeah, but I'm just glad that you was able to kind of overcome that. But I just want to go back into your childhood. You said you grew up with your siblings.
Hmm.
Single mother. Um, Now what was it like, you said you was from the streets. Can you elaborate
Hmm.
more on that? In what aspect?
I mean, we was homeless before. We was living, hotel, house to house with friends, being around gangs, drug dealers, killers, prostitutes, pimps.
Mhm.
Those were in the area. There was a lot of influences that um, tried to swing me over to different sides of life. You grow up, you think you don't really consider it a gang, you consider it more of a brotherhood, but realistically, if the police pulled you over, you're involved in a gang. So that was people that I was around that held guns, drugs. So I mean, that was just the lifestyle when you living in the projects.
Yes, I totally get it. And so what was it like, being brought up in schools? I always like to talk about like elementary and junior high. I'm wondering, like, during those formative years, what was it like for you? How were your grades? Did you have any extracurricular activities? Did you had girlfriends then? Like, how was that?
Nah, man, no, no. I was more of I was more reserved. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm really an introvert. I know that definitely isn't what most people would think, but I was an introvert. My grades was good. I was smart, but I was lazy at times. And,
Right,
I did what I needed to do to make my mama happy. So
right.
I get the A's, the B's, and I think it wasn't until my 11th 11th grade that I got more serious about simply graduating. Not necessarily going to college, but graduating because I didn't want to get stuck behind
Yeah,
and
okay.
things of that nature.
So what high school did you go to?
Tri Cities High School, let's go.
Tri-Cities.
Yeah, yeah. East Point, stand up.
So, did you get more into, learning more about yourself? Because you mentioned, like, how you had to step it up in junior high, in your junior year, but before that, like, did you get into more activities? Did you join any
Nah,
clubs? Were
nope.
you less introverted? Oh, no, it was the same flow?
It was about graduating. I'm saying I stopped hanging around my friends who were dropping out. Stopped hanging around friends who were fighting, and I was just like, I gotta graduate. My mom ain't gonna be too happy if I get kept back or you know, if I don't make it out. Plus, I'm just ready to get out, be an adult. So let me do what I need to do to graduate. that's really was the motivation, just making my mom happy, and then graduating. That was really the only motivation. No college aspirations, no career aspirations. Just I
Oh,
don't want to
really?
be. Yeah, I don't want to be here.
So what was your aspiration? I mean, what was your thought process once you graduated from high school? Now, what was did you have anything in mind? Did you know? Because some people, they always have something in mind. Like I wanted to be a
Nah,
pediatrician growing up, so you didn't.
I'm 5'9". I thought I wanted to be in the NBA, then play a lick of basketball, then do nothing. I didn't have realistic goals, like I said, but I didn't grow up in the I don't feel like I grew up in an environment that was conducive to dreaming. It was more about surviving.
Survival, got you.
Yeah, so that's how I looked at it. Like, maybe other people and their moms and their parents were um, pushing them towards careers and going to college. I didn't know what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be,
Mhm,
and
right.
plus I wanted to get out, be in the workforce, make some money because I don't want to see my mom struggling. So, and then I wanted to be in the streets. So realistically, it was just like I was a smart street kid.
So
That,
you wanted the best of both worlds. So,
hmm
after high school, what did you go from there?
I went to massage therapy school just because
Oh, really?
I gave my mom my word. She was just like, you can take a year off, but you need to do something. I seen the little commercial. Went to massage therapy school.
Really?
Yeah, went to massage therapy school. Did good, but I wasn't motivated to do it. Got back into just being in the streets. Got to a certain age, mom was like, "Look, you got to go. You can't be no bum just sitting in my house doing nothing. You got to get you a
Mhm.
job. You got to go." So started getting into the workforce, and I mean, just trying to figure out who I was.
What was the workforce like? Where did you work?
I mean, many, here and there, many
Different
different
in different
jobs.
different
Yeah,
places. Right, right.
yeah, warehouses, all
Got
different
you.
types of
Yeah,
jobs.
I want to get more into that. Yeah, I want to because I was, wondering, because I know sometimes and I understand how it is because when you have that flighty,
Mm,
mindset where you just don't but some of us still don't know. Some of us are still trying to figure it out. I know I am.
mm,
So I get it. I get it, especially when you're young
mm,
and you're trying to because after high school, I don't know, people take for granted. I don't think people truly understand that pivotal time between high school well, not even in between, just high school and beyond. Like once you get
mm,
they don't understand um how hard it is to kind of process that. You're barely an adult, you just enough you have just enough adulthood to kind of get into certain things legally, but you still have a child's mindset. You still need guidance, you still need protection, you still need to try to figure out where to go and what to do. So it's hard. But
mm,
also, Pastor Chris,
mhm,
I wanted to ask you also because you mentioned about you just wanted to make your mom proud.
mhm,
You wanted to kind of ease her burdens. And so I always ask this question because I hear a lot of people on here, they talk about
mhm,
growing up and how they had to basically take on the leadership role in the household.
mhm,
When the man is not,
mhm,
present, they have to take that leadership role as a
mhm.
child. So I'm wondering, and I want you to be honest with this one because there has to be some level of resentment there because you feel like at a certain age, you shouldn't have to even, be in a
Nah.
position to have to you should have to be in a position to have to, take on that role to hold down even though I understand you have to help out, you
Mhm.
have to learn responsibility, you have to learn how to be domesticated and learn how to, hold your weight, I get that, but at a certain age, I just feel like you should not be put in that position to be the
I
man of
think
the
it.
house.
I mean, I do think obviously, I would definitely say having a man in the house, having my father would have probably benefited me and kept me from doing some of the things that I did, but I was always a very reserved and smart person. I always thought about the consequences ahead of time. So I didn't make a lot of bad decisions because I always thought about the consequences. I had uncles who made a lot of bad decisions and I kind of learned from other people's mistakes. But as far as resentment, no, it's no really resentment because for me, I'm not gonna say I had to be the person who was, you know, feeding and cooking and taking my siblings to school. My mom did a great job. She was overwhelmed, but she did a great job. But I did, there were moments where latchkey kid, as you call them,
Right,
and
right.
being reinforcing things that she wanted me to reinforce. Um, I had no resentment. It really just taught me, in the environment that I was in, you see everybody like that. So you didn't really notice no difference. You seen all your friends like that. All your friends coming to your house. My mom was a neighborhood mom. Kids came over, they ate, had breakfast sometimes. So
Mhm.
to me, it was just me doing my part like I see of my other friends doing their part when their mom's at work and their mom's coming home. And I felt like I actually had it easier because, I had relatives that stayed with us. Granted, they may not have been the best, but I had some relatives like my uncles around. So I didn't really have to carry the burden of a lot of stuff. I just had to be very watchful for my siblings and
Oh,
making sure
got
they
you.
were,
So you did
doing
have
what
some type of support system.
to a certain degree. Yeah, I
Okay,
guess you could,
right.
to a very, very small degree. Yeah.
Okay, got you. So now, you mentioned about you have navigating life, trying, getting through school, being raised in a single parent household, being
Hmm.
in those streets, and just trying to navigate through the workforce, doing various jobs, and getting off your
Hmm.
mama's couch. And so, how did you make it into church? How did the church come about?
Man, I was trying to sleep with some women in the church, and I mean, if you know me, I'm honest. I'm very straightforward. Me and a friend of mine. I think I was like 19 years old. There was a back to school extravaganza at Word of Faith Love Center in East Point. I love that church. I love that church family. I had a lady. It was a lady in the neighborhood. Her daughter went. Her daughter went to her friend's house late at night. She was like a little sister to us, so we walked her over there. We went to go get her, walk her home. There was some girls around. The mom said, "Hey, do y'all want to come to the back to school extravaganza, which is tomorrow?" And I was like, "Yeah." The mom was very nice. She fed me. She would always give me food. Sometimes it was very helpful because some nights were tougher the other nights, so she would give food. So I came to the back to school extravaganza. I seen a bunch of women. I'm like, I'm gonna keep coming back here. Especially the girl I was talking to was going there. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep going. And after a while, the more I came, the more I was engulfed with the culture that was inside the church, the loving culture, the people after God's own heart being rebuked by me and like, yo, we don't talk like that. We don't wear our pants like that. We don't act like that. But then showing me
Right,
love, but then showing me love, I was just like, okay, man, this is different. I like being in this environment. And from there, the Holy Spirit did his work on my heart. And I was just like, all right, cool. I was a class clown in the sex education classes. A woman, a woman pulled me to the side and just like, look, you got to get right. She became my spiritual mother, and she kind of kept me in church even when I didn't want to come. And like I said, the Holy Spirit was using her, and from there, I just gave my life to. One day, I was hearing the pastor preach, and I was like, what, I'm gonna get this Jesus guy a try. So I went.
you
I,
was
I went.
Imma give this Jesus guy a try, huh? That's what you said that like, "Let me see what
Yeah,
this Lord thing is all about."
yeah. I'm like, I mean, I'm gonna try it out. I mean, I'm gonna give my life to Christ. They say there was gonna be a level of peace that I get. I feel like these messages are about me anyway. And
Right,
so I was like, I'm gonna give my life to Christ, and from there it's been history. I never strayed away. I just kept digging and digging and digging and digging, and I never would have thought I would have never thought in a million years that I would be a pastor. Now, granted, one of my heroes when I was a kid was Martin Luther King, and I remember me telling my mom that, oh man, I want to be like him when I grow up. But it's funny how things come full circle.
yes,
But yeah, I would have never in a million years. You had to tell
right,
me at 17 years old that I would be a pastor.
wow.
I would have
Yeah, but I
laughed at
definitely wanna get more into that towards, towards your ministry. I definitely wanna get more into that, but I wanna
you.
pause it
Hmm.
real quick. But would you do me a favor, Pastor? Would you mind, um, speaking to the audience real quick? Because I gotta just make a run real quick. I'll be right back. Would you
Okay,
mind talking to
okay. No, no problem at all. What's going on, audience? It's your favorite pastor, Pastor Kristopher Hosey, and you can follow me on Facebook, Kristopher Hosey. You can follow me on Instagram. I just created a new Instagram account, so let me check it for y'all. But you can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me at Pastor Christopher Hosey on Instagram. You can follow me and the wife on TikTok, the Hoseys. Listen, don't be afraid to ask questions. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. If you're going to a church and you can't ask questions, then you need to leave, because asking questions help you get knowledge. And the more knowledge you get, the better you are, the more discipled you are, the better you're able to answer the tough questions, because you've asked the tough questions to somebody who has knowledge. Don't be afraid out there. It's too many cults, it's too many false religions. So y'all make sure to ask all the questions. And if you don't got nobody to tell you the answer or give you the answer, you can reach me on my social media platforms. And I call myself the most accessible pastor. I'll talk to you. I'll pray for you, and I'll give you the answer you're looking for.
Yeah. Amen, Pastor. Thank you so much. And that's why I said in the beginning, like, he's very approachable in that way. But I really had to go. I could hold it. I could hold it. I tried.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Yeah, but thank you so much for that. But yes, but I definitely want to get okay. So at 17 years old, you mentioned that
Mm,
you had, those the mentorships and you had that
mm,
support and that to
mm,
encourage you to move forward into that spiritual path. So
mm,
so I just want to get more into that because I'm sure you have an interesting story to tell when it comes to when when for you wanting to sleep around with the women, and
mm,
you went to this event, this church event, and then you became more intrigued. What
mm,
made you so intrigued about it? What made you so intrigued about God and wanting to learn more about Him and wanting to get into
mm.
that? What made you? Because it had to be something that really resonated with you.
I'm
Something.
like, no, so I always call myself, I'm like a mixture of two people in the Bible. I'm like Doubting Thomas, and I'm like,
Mm,
you know, uh, Peter, with my
okay.
level of aggression. But in the beginning, it was like Doubting Thomas. It was just, I'm all about knowledge and information. So to me, it was more about, okay, I hear what you're saying. It sounds good. It do sound good, and I do enjoy myself coming here with being
Okay.
around these people. I can't say, salvation is something. It's salvation, and as you becoming saved and as you transforming, it's not just say, oh, I get it now, saved. And um even now we all growing, we all learning. So for me, in that early phases, I feel like the Holy Spirit was just revealing to me who I was and who God wanted me to be. So as I continue to go to church, it was more about, man, that message is really good. That teacher is a great teacher. But anybody can be a great teacher. What makes this God better than the God of Islam, the God of any and every other
Like,
religion?
how does he take precedence?
Yeah. So the more I
Yeah,
did my
yeah.
research, the more I dived deeper into um, the Bible, or even just starting, just asking questions as I was letting the people know. Now it became just more and more clear, that God loved me so much that He died for my sins. I do deserve the penalty of death,
Mm,
for going
yeah,
against the law. But all He's saying, all I gotta do is trust and believe in Him, and I will be saved. And the person who loves Him will transform and be new. So to me, that level of forgiveness, when I first started off, my favorite scripture was 2 Corinthians 5:17. Anybody in Christ is a new creation. All things in past. And that's just paraphrasing a little bit. And that's how it was. I'm just like, I don't want to be the person that I am now. I don't want to be this lazy, this hood, this, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't feel like I have purpose. And going to church, I just felt purpose. And when I got into the church, and I found that purpose, like, this is where I'm supposed to be, man. This is the only thing that's ever made sense to me in my life. It's being in this place, being around God's people. Then, as I grew and I was discipled well, it just added more clarity to what I already knew. Once I tested the faith out, once I studied it, and once I got knowledge on it, once I was asked tough questions and I was able to get the answer, it just continuously, like, yeah, I know I'm on the right path. Thank you, God,
thank
for
you.
for revealing to my heart. So it was a heart change first, and then once the heart change came for me, then it was just the knowledge. And because and it worked just like that. It was a heart change, like, man, this is amazing, this is where I want to be. And then the knowledge came, it's like, okay, now I knew I made the right decision. Because you can't have one without the other. Because if you
Right.
do that, that's how you get into a cult. You know, quotes can change your heart, make you feel good, but if it don't come with knowledge, facts, and evidences, then it's like, oh, this is false. I mean,
True.
how
True.
many of us been in a bad relationship with somebody who said they gonna give us the world, and then next thing you know, they give us
Yeah.
nothing but
Mhm.
problems. So
Yes.
that's God showed me who He was, and then
And
proved
you
it.
believe
Oh,
it. Yeah, he proved
yeah.
it to you, right? You believe, you believe it. When God shows you who he is, you definitely gotta believe
Hmm.
it. So, Pastor, I want, to know when you started your spiritual journey,
Hmm.
how did your family and friends, people around you, what was their reaction? Did you get any pushback or did you get, like,
I
the
mean,
shock factor?
yeah, I got an initial pushback from a lot of friends because I stopped doing a lot of stuff.
Right.
I knew my standards had to change. As a man of God, I had to act a different way. And I'm from it, like I said, I'm from the streets. So there were a lot of people who are my friends now. Some of them stopped being my friends for a period of time because I just didn't do the same things. I didn't do the drugs. I didn't want to fornicate no more. And I didn't want to hang with people. I wanted to really test this faith out. If I'm going to say I'm a Christian and I'm gonna try it out, then I'm gonna do what this word tells me to do, and that's what I want to do. Like I told you earlier, I want to try this God out, and the more I did what He told me to do, despite what was going on around me, I felt happy. And I was like, oh, okay. So a lot of friends was
Mhm.
like, man, not Chris. Nah, what? You crazy? You not doing that? But then eventually they got on board. They seen who I became, and the same people who were like, nah, I ain't doing that, are the same people asking me to pray for them. So.
True, true. And were you raised in a church or did you, yeah, okay. Yeah, so it just came
I may have went occasionally with my
right.
stepmom, and like everybody else, Christmas, holiday.
Yes.
But we wasn't
Mhm.
raised in the church, not one bit. I didn't come into really knowing Christ until I was like I said, I think I was
You
20,
in high
19
school?
to 21. No, I was like
Oh,
probably maybe like
okay.
20. Yeah, I was like 20. I was like 20 years old when I
Oh,
started
okay.
coming to the church. Yeah.
So how did you, how did you prepare for your role as, in the ministry period? How did you
Mhm.
prepare for that? What credentials did you acquire?
I didn't prepare. I didn't at all. There's no, you know, let me say this: just because somebody got a master's in theology
Right,
or
right.
doctrine, don't mean they're ordained by God.
Oh, right, right. No, I
So,
understand.
but I
I'm just
did.
what your
No,
process
no,
was.
no.
Yeah.
I say that because there's a lot of people being tricked by degrees
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah, of course.
masters in divinity. But I did for I just served, and when I was in churches, I served, I studied, I got in my word, I did my research. I was mentored by some great mentors. I did go to school for a year for Christian ministries, but financially I couldn't stay.
Mm.
Um, but I kept being mentored, and when I went to Word of Faith Love Center, they gave me I was part of the youth leadership, and a lot of the pastors and a lot of the who one of my spiritual fathers, shout out to John Moore. He really just took me under his wing. He was a youth pastor at that time, and a lot of them seen the gift in me. And then, and now I know saying everything pretty fast, but years went by just being there, and then I met somebody at the church where Rand is at, who was a friend of mine. She was a good friend of mine, and she was a youth minister there. She knew I was one of the youth leaders at my church, so she said, "Hey, can you speak to the boys? There's a lot of boys here. Can you come speak to them? They got your similar background. They went to the same. They went to the same um, high school you went to." So I came in and connected with them and started speaking. And Pastor Rand was just like, "Man, I've been praying for a man to come into the church."
Okay, I was waiting, 'cause, yeah, because I wanted to segue that into that, you meeting, Pastor Rand, because he gave his version, so now I'm looking forward to hearing yours. So how you and Pastor Rand became the duo
Yeah,
that you came.
he I was friend like I said, one of my friends was a youth minister, and she asked me to come up there and preach or teach one Sunday. I came up there and I just felt the Lord kept saying, I need you to go back. Keep going back. So she kept inviting me back, and I kept going to talk to him. And it was a smaller crowd because the church it came from was like 6 to 900, and at that time they had a very smaller crowd.
Mhm.
in East Point, and so I would come in as my friend. I would come and teach, and then the Lord was like, "I need you to join that congregation." I'm like, "Okay." So I talked to my pastor, and he was like, "Man, yeah, go ahead, go for it. I want you to do great things." So I came, and through her, I met Rand, obviously because he's a pastor. Then me and Rand became cool because I seen him a lot, and he's a pastor, and I would tell him, "Listen, I'm gonna do a basketball event here." They remodeled the gym. I told her I was gonna do it, and she was like, "The gym is bad." A couple months later, they remodeled the gym. I started coming more and more, and then me and Rand built a bond, and then we came really got really really close, and I think he let me stay with him. I had went through a real bad spot. He didn't even
Wow,
really
really?
yeah, he didn't even really know me like that. He just knew me
Wow,
for
really? I didn't know that. He didn't tell me that. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I was staying with him for um he didn't. I mean, I think he probably less than 6 months, man. I had went through a real bad situation at home. Family situation was really bad at the time, and he let me stay. And so he let me stay with him. And then his only recommendation was like, "Look, you got to come to church every Sunday." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing that anyway."
Right.
So during that process, we got even closer. Staying with him, we got closer. And then being in church, I see him all the time. So we stay together, we serve at church together. And he was like, "Yo, I've been praying about this. I have prayed for God to send a man to come serve with me." And, he's like, hey, and then down the line, like years later, he's like, "Look, I want to get you ordained." And
Mm.
but we have been rocked by then. We friends, and we, been rocking. I go everywhere with him, go, just learning under him, studying under him. Rand, I say Rand is probably had probably the biggest impact on who I am as a pastor.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I mean, I think because our personalities are different, but he tempers my personality.
Yes.
Um, so I get to see it from a different perspective, and I know sometimes my personality kind of put a fire behind him because I'm like, "No, we got to do this." Because we different. He more
Right,
mild.
right.
He more mild and very fatherly, and for me, I'm just really like, "No, we got high
Yeah, more
energy."
free-spirited. Mhm.
Yeah, like real big energy. Look, we gotta go. We gotta get this done. I'm more, I would say, fiery. Like, no, more aggressive. But it
Right.
works out. But it works out because that you people got to see the different sides of fatherhood. You get to see a loving father that is a little more aggressive. Then you get to see a little calmer father that is also stern, but in a different way. And he had a big impact to get me to see things differently than I've seen before. And he kind of motivated me, and we've been what was doing ministry for man well over 10 years together. And
Mm.
then he said, "Listen, I can hold you forever, but I think you need to go and find you a
You
church."
need to spread your wings. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so when I did that, I started tried to start my own church, and then COVID crept around, and then went through a few things, and then God opened the door for me to be at Gresham Park.
Yes, as I see. Gresham Park.
Yep, Gresham Park
Mm.
Christian Church. Yep,
Yes,
that's
Gresham
my
Park.
home.
Yeah, tell us more about it, Pastor.
Gresham Park Christian Church on Flat Shoals Road, 2819 in Decatur, Georgia. Great church. A smaller church as we're growing. We're trying to grow and just be who the community needs, and glorify God, serve God. We do a lot of events. Um, Second and fourth Saturday, we do a lot of events and things like that.
Wow, look at that. Okay. Notary
So
Public. Okay.
yeah, we got some people up there who do a lot of that. Not just me. I do a lot of the counseling. I do counseling, anything. So anything anybody wants, I will take care of. Being about vocational is a little different, but I always put put church first. Because that's
Absolutely.
where that's where God has me. I always say I'm a pastor first, and me working another job is simply to help me take care of
It's, and so
what I can.
how long you been doing this so far?
Well,
Your own.
I've been in Gresham Park for about maybe 2 years. Yeah, give or take 2 years right now. I went through a period where I stopped preaching for a minute, but then just get some clarity on some things, and then God opened this amazing door for me and this amazing family.
Yes, I see, I see. So this is Gresham Park Christian Church. If you're in the area, it's 2819 Flat Shoals Road in Decatur,
Hmm.
Georgia. So
Yep,
please make
yep.
sure. Do you do services online as well? Like
Yes, it's hosted
okay, yes,
online on
hosted
Facebook,
online.
YouTube. So you can check us out on Facebook and YouTube. On Facebook is Gresham Park. And you see that ugly picture of me. I gotta see. You see, I've been slowly losing weight, but but you can go Gresham Park, uh, Gresham Park GPCC on Facebook, and then we have let me not tell you I don't know YouTube, Faith Gresham Park Christian Church as
Oh, there's
well.
you have a you have a YouTube as well?
Mhm, mhm,
Oh, okay. I didn't know
mhm.
that. Okay, cool beans.
Yeah, you go there check out some sermons, some old, some new.
So so let me ask you, so w- what is it like as far as you transitioning from um becoming or like once you get into the faith, you are more you're ministering, like you started off with the youth, engaging more with that, and then you transition into becoming an assistant pastor, and then you pastoring your own church. Can you give us an idea of what that process is like for you, and how is it different? Because, like I said, you holding down your own church is a whole nother beast in itself. So I just want to get kind of give you kind of a real deal holy feel on what it really is like to pastor your own church, being
I would
yeah,
just say, you got to pray for your pastors because it is a lot.
yes, hmm,
Because it's just like, I definitely understand why the Bible why I say the Bible gives the recommendation where you have the pastor is married, because it's very similar.
hmm, hmm,
Because when you become going from an associate pastor to the senior pastor, it's like going from the son to a married man. It's like, yeah, you was living in your father's
yes,
house. You was living in your
yes,
father's house. Your father took care of you. You were able to help him out. But now you got your own house. You got your own family. Now all the burden
yes,
is on you. So I really think that's the biggest thing. It's tough because my church, we're trying to transition from a older to a younger church. I wouldn't even say young, but you're trying to influx the younger crowd back into the church. COVID did a number on my church, and before I got there, and they wanted to really impact the community, so they wanted the pastor to be younger so he can grow with the community and grow a younger audience into
yeah,
the
bridge the
church.
gap.
Yeah, and make that
Mhm.
bridge that gap. So it's tough because you got to battle traditions, you got to battle
Yes. Yeah,
differences in
Pastor Man was talking
age.
about that, yeah.
Yeah, you got to battle differences in age. You got to battle stuff like wearing a tie, not wearing a tie, wearing a suit, not wearing a suit. You know what I'm saying? You don't wear a suit. They don't think you powerful, but in this generation, a pastor can get in some khakis and a sweat hoodie or some jeans and a hoodie, and he can still he can still be looked at and be respected. But certain generations, it's like, hey, we used to have our pastors and our leaders wearing suits and ties, and so though that's arguments there, arguments about the service style. So because you don't want to come in and you don't want to, you know, the worst thing you can do is come in and try to burn everybody up by just doing away with everything and then starting doing new things because you got to work with what you got. And if the people you got can't move in the areas of where you want to, you got to be patient until God blesses you with the people to do the things that need to be done. So the transition is just difficult. You got to gain the respect of an older congregation who's like,
Yes,
you old
yes.
enough? Are you young enough to be my great
Yeah, because
grandson?
they're gonna haze they're gonna go through that. They're gonna you're gonna go through the hazing period.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, why should we,
Yeah,
why should we listen to you? And then the more you allow God to use you, they'll see the God in you, which they did. So it's natural to get pushed back anytime changes happen on a leadership structure. So it's difficult, but it's what God wanted me to do, and that's what I'm gonna do.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so now, I wanted to also ask you, Pastor, so with you pastoring your church, how I mean, I know you gave some mention about how the
Mhm,
congregation received you. So
mhm.
how has your support system been like? Because I know you have the support system. So how's your support system been for you?
I I mean, with the church or with the people around me, because those 2 different questions.
Right, with the church.
I mean, I do have a lot of good support system. I have some good support system at the church. It started off rocky, but like I said, with any changes at the top, there's always going to be some bumping of heads because you're trying to do stuff new. So, I have some good elders that we sit down and we're able to talk about our differences and we're able to meet in the middle. So that's a great thing that I love about the church and the leadership that I have. I do want to influx some younger people, maybe around my age, so that we can, have a Timothy, basically wanting them to train under the elders so that they can take on the mantle when they pass it down to
Right,
them. So
right.
that's my goal there.
And I think that that will happen sooner than you think. All right.
Amen.
Let me ask you, are you full-time pastor? Are you are you
Under bivocational. So when people say, it's always when people say full time, it's a weird question for me. It is because you never stop being like full. Technically, you always a full time pastor because people gonna call you. You're gonna pray for
true?
people. You're gonna do a lot of stuff. But I am not in the office all the time. But I do preach on Sundays. I do my counseling. I do the Bible studies. By appointment. So counseling, Bible studies. We do the Bible studies, and then I have other people who assist in other areas and things like that. So. Um,
And you also have your regular job as well. That's what I meant.
mhm.
Like, okay,
Yeah, I do
yeah.
have another job. Yeah, and I granted one day I pray that God blesses me with the ability to just fully focus on ministry. That is a goal. But I do believe in this season, the job that I have is just so I'm able to take care of my family financially, and that pressure isn't on the church.
Got you. Yeah. So how
Mhm.
did you balance it out? Work life, church life,
I'm
family
still
life.
trying. I'm still trying.
Yeah.
My lovely wife.
Yeah. How did that come about? How did this lovely woman come into your life?
Oh man. I've been knowing her for maybe 20 years, and
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, and we're friends. And then I always mess with her. She took me out on what was supposed to be a group of friends, but I tell her it was a double date, and she kind of pulled me into it. Where it was originally she said, "Hey, do you want to hang out with me and some friends?" I said, "Yeah." I'm thinking like, "Oh, it's just a bunch of friends." And then I see her with some other people, and it was like them two. And then I'm like, hold on, it's only two, and man and woman. And then I'm thinking, okay, I ain't gonna think nothing about it. But then we started having a good time, and from there we've been that's my best friend.
Okay, so I mean, you kind of left some stuff out past this. So you met her, like you said, you known her
Hmm.
for a long
Hmm.
time, since you're younger. So how do you
Hmm.
go from friendship to courtship to get like? There's some steps to this, Pastor. Can you give
That's
us a
how it
little
went.
a little bit?
That's how it went. It was. She told me she always knows when we first met that she was attracted to me, but we never really hit it off like that. Mainly me because when I put people in the friend zone, because I didn't know. I like to keep a balance. So if you're a friend, you're a friend. You're a sister, you're a sister. That's how I look at it. So
Mm-hmm,
when she invited me out, we had a good time, and then it was like, man, we started I think it was some flirting going on, and I was like, oh.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Then we kept hanging out, and then it went from more than a friend. It went from, I really liking you. I really enjoy my time with you. I enjoy spending my time with you. I could talk to you about anything. Yeah, she was coming to the church already. Um, so it just blossomed from a friendship to like a friendship on fire, as I call like this.
Friendship on
Say,
fire.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I like to hear about love stories,
yeah,
because I just
yeah.
want to know because sometimes you want to need that extra added assurance because nowadays,
Hmm.
Pastor, you see how it is out here. It's like when it comes to
Hmm.
love, relationships, courtships, it's just so ugh, it's uh, it's
Hmm.
it's even I can't even put it into words. It's so obsolete. Like it's
Mhm.
such a danger zone now to even talk about it, to even try to fail it, to even try to get it,
Mhm.
to get any type of anything from. It's just So I like to hear some love stories.
Mhm.
There's still some love stories out there.
Yeah, I
But
mean, it
yeah,
just I'd say when it comes to relationships, I just think people overthink it. I'm sorry, my
that's all right.
family. I just think people overthink it. I really do. I think people overthink it simply because one, you got to put yourself in a position to be seen.
Mm,
And for women, I have a strong like opinion about women. I just don't think women do enough to make themselves seen. They assume, especially older women, certain generation, because I understand that the man is supposed to approach the woman first. That's the logic that was taught, but I always thought that was
yeah, I
the
think we had a debate about that too. But
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I always think that's the worst thing the church ever told a woman to do. I don't think the woman has to be the aggressor, but I do think she needs to let it be known that she's highly interested, and then and then see his level of desire to be get to know her from there. Um, because just like we all have things on our mind, and I do believe, if a man likes you, he'll say something. But some men ain't like, some men aren't like that. Some men, just like women, don't like rejection. So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
feel like if you put yourself in a position, going out with friends, meeting people at work, tell women, laugh at his corny jokes, touch his shoulder, be around him. After a while, he might pick up on it, and if you over time, you never know what can happen. My wife will tell you, she's like, "Well, you were delusional. I've been liking you." But for me, growing up the way I did, it was, I was in so many different
Hmm.
places, from the streets to now being saved, and you know, but if I feel like if women are more assertive, a little more assertive than what they normally are, they'll probably have a better outlook. Most men ain't gonna say no if you tell them you like them if they like you. So you get better odds that way, in my opinion.
Okay, no, I get it. And I feel like, at some point, when you go through life and you get older, you just stop playing these games. Some people like that whole cat and mouse thing, it just gets kind of old at some point. So you don't want to do that in your 40s and 50s. That's
It
crazy.
depends on
You
what you
know,
consider. It depends on
you
what you.
know.
So let me say this. It depends on what you consider cat and mouse, right? I understand if you feel like you're being strung along by somebody. That's
Yeah,
too much.
yeah.
We too, but that's different from let we work together. I like you. Let me make it known that I like you in some form, whether passive or aggressive. I'm gonna let you know that I'm feeling you. And once he picks up on that, then he can make the decision. But if you playing games, like you know that I like you, but you still playing around, then I can
Yeah,
understand like
right. Or,
I'm not doing it.
you don't want to text a person back after a certain amount of time because you don't want them to think you. I'm like, look, if you reach out, reach back. Like, let's have a dialogue. Let's have a connection. All of this, the games, that it's just a waste of time, and I don't
But
have
I
no
think
time
it's
for
part.
it.
But I think it's. But I mean, I hate to say it, but that's just part of the dating process, because everybody's process is different, and you just
It
got to
shouldn't be
know.
part of the dating process, though.
You
I don't think it
well,
should be.
I mean, because nobody. You got to think about it. Nobody wants to be rejected. Most people don't want to be rejected. I say this: the only people that have a problem with being rejected, that don't really want to accept being rejected, is more times than not than women. For men, because women want you to be the aggressor, say something, say how you feel. We got to be okay with the person that we think is cute. Tell, ew, you ugly. You get used to it. You've been doing. That's been happening since we were kids. We've been having to get used to being rejected. And now it's like if I'm a hardworking black man and I'm in my 40s and stuff like that, and a woman is mind you, I'm saying this if I was single, and if somebody is interested in me, to wait for me to say something to you, it's crazy because you don't know what I'm doing in life.
Hmm.
I got work, I got a million things going on. But if you put yourself in my view and you make it somewhat
Because,
known, then
hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay, this person really. Let me call them and see how they doing, and see where this goes. Go on a date and take it from there. So I just think it's people have to be willing to kiss a bunch of frogs until they meet they Prince Charming for women. That because men, that's what men have to do. You date. This ain't gonna work out. She just wants somebody to pay her bills. She just, she ain't serious. Men are used to that process. I don't think women are used to that process. So y'all get tired, feel faster because it's like I don't want to have to keep dealing with these frogs. I'm tired. Where my
Mhm,
Prince Charming at? Which I
mhm,
understand, but I just think men are so used to it since high school, being rejected or going through that process. So so when a man talks to a woman about it and you're like, I disagree, it's like, yeah, we've been doing that since high school.
mhm,
You
mhm.
you know what I'm saying? So now that you're getting older and dating as you get older is harder
It is.
because everybody's stuck in their ways. Everybody has different responsibilities. Everybody has different experiences with life that dictates their dating habits. We got a lot of and we got a lot of baggage. Everybody, not just one
Yes.
person.
Yes.
We all, and we take this into the dating pool, and we be like, "Oh, you're gonna take me how I'm are." Well, everybody got baggage, and now we deciphering, okay, who baggage can I deal with? But so it's a process. That's it. It's a process. You gotta make yourself seen. It's a lot of. I tell people, man, it's a lot of technology. It's a lot of apps. It's
Yes.
a
Mhm.
lot of different. And I tell people, don't give up. If you desire to be married, don't give up. You're gonna have to kiss a bunch of frogs, but set your standards early. I tell women, especially, I tell women, this is from a man. Set your standards early in reference. Be realistic with your standards and set your standards high when it comes to morality and behaviors. Outside of that, everything it can be flexible. I mean, for instance, I get what I mean by that is you don't want nobody who's abusive. You don't want nobody who's
Right.
cheap. You want somebody who loves the Lord. I need to see how you serve the Lord. I need to know you in church and not just saying you go to church. I'm not budging on that. Those are my
You got
non-negotiables.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, got
So
you. Yeah, you definitely gotta have those. You gotta iron those out. That's why those conversations gotta be had. You have to
no, that
know.
ain't that ain't that ain't no conversation you have with nobody. That's a conversation you had. Me and my wife always joke because I tell her, if she wasn't a Christian, we wouldn't even been talking.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. You gotta be
That's
clear
not
about your intentions. That's what I mean. You just gotta be clear
no,
about
no.
your
What I'm saying is no. What I'm saying is, listen. It don't matter what my intentions when we hanging out and I'm getting to know you and just like an interview, just like you doing right now. When I'm interviewing somebody, that's what dating is. I'm getting to know you, and you
right,
say, "Oh, I believe in the devil."
right,
In my head, I'm like, "Yeah, they ain't never gonna be no second date
right.
because we don't agree."
Yeah, you nip it in the bud. Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so you gotta talk to folks, and the more you talk, you just don't move away from the non-negotiables. Oh, you smoke? I don't really want to be
Right.
with a
Mhm,
smoker.
mhm.
Or you drink way too much for me. When we going out, you always getting drunk. I'm gonna move forward. Just don't
Right.
move from your non-negotiables, but then be flexible on certain things because you know nobody's perfect. Oh, you bald head. I don't date bald head people. That's stupid to me. You
Mhm.
know, it's about the things that really matter. You got to pay attention to the things that keep people married for 30, 40 years. That's the stuff need to be listening to when you date. And that's how it was for me and my wife. I already knew she was a great person as a friend, but I never knew her in a dating sense. So the more I got to know her in a dating sense, it was like, oh, I love the way you process life.
Right.
I already think you cute, so that's not. I'm not factoring that in. I already think you gorgeous. I'm factoring in things I haven't heard yet. How do you process life? Wow, I love how you process life. You're really a helpmate. You love God. These are things that I see you walk out, not just talk about. Okay, yeah, that's who I want to be with. So it's just part of the process. You have your standards. You date, and then you narrow it down to the person that you have bonded with the most.
Right. Bottom line. And then
Yeah.
the children comes along, you know? And so how many children you have?
Hmm. Oh, well, we have a total of three boys.
Oh, it's 3 boys. Oh, I
Mhm.
thought you had a girl somewhere. I thought there was a
Mm-mm,
girl in there. Oh, okay.
no
Oh,
girls.
and what are their ages?
15, 13, and 3.
Oh, and so how's fatherhood been for you?
It's been good. It's a journey in itself. You learn a lot about yourself. You grow in different ways. You try not to pass on generational curses, so it's different.
And do your teenagers confide in you about, maybe pressures about being, pastors' kids? You know,
No.
no, they don't. Do they confide in you at all? I'm wondering, like, do I, well, because I know it's a different dynamic between sons and their mothers, but like, do they have certain conversation with you? Like, do they confide in you about certain things? Because you would want that to happen, especially with teenagers,
Well,
because they better talk,
I have a blended family,
right?
so
Hmm.
I mean, at the moment, we only been married since July, so um,
So
yeah.
wait, July of this year?
Uh-huh.
Uh, Oh. Oh, okay.
No, no, it's okay. You're confused.
Yeah,
You
because
are
I'm thinking of
confused. Yeah, I am divorced. I
we
was
married.
divorced.
Oh, I'm so past.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Oh, it's okay. It's not. I'm not like I'm hiding anything. I'm a very transparent
Yeah.
person.
Oh, okay. So you
Mhm.
divorced. So you remarried. Okay, gotcha.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, so you married July of this year.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. That's why I'm thinking about the. See why I'm thinking like. Oh my God, could have sworn there was a girl in the family. That's what I'm thinking about the previous. Oh,
Yes.
okay. So, being said,
Mhm.
as a man of faith, as a pastor,
Mhm.
what do you say to people? Because there's still some barbaric people, people who had the barbaric mindset about divorce and within the
Mhm.
faith. So, what do you say to people, or how do you navigate through that divorce and remarry? Like, what do you say to those people that speak on that?
Seek God. I mean,
Mhm.
that's the best thing you can do. I mean, I would agree with everything they probably gonna say. I so I think what happens is people so afraid to be transparent because they want to look perfect. It wasn't a situation that it was something predicted or done by me. And no, there was no negative, ill, abuse, cheating, none of that stuff happened. So as long as you can I tell people, as long as you can keep your name clear and clean and you doing right by God, you can't force somebody to be where they don't want to be,
Right,
regardless.
exactly. And that's
You
why I keep
can,
trying to see some people always have that mind. And I'm glad you said that because a lot of people feel like, um, you know, you divorced. They feel like they still feel like that's the plague, like you're a quitter or you just
I
you
mean, it
running.
should be like it should. I'm in agreement with that. You should. You see. Here's the thing. Hold on. Here's the thing. Let me say this. It's always easy to quit. It's always easy to quit.
I'm not saying you
And
just have to
hold
order.
on. Hear me out. Hear
I'm
me
not
out. Hear
saying
me
it's
out.
not the first thing you should do. I'm not saying
No,
that,
I
but
agree.
I'm
hmm
not saying that.
Listen. Hear me out. Hear me
Mhm.
out. There has to be a standard, and we should think about divorce in a negative light because it goes against the will of God, and that's on both parties. Both parties should not want that to happen.
Of course,
Me and my wife, who I am married to, uh, we that is a cuss word to us. That is not something we want, you know. But in the previous situation, you can fight until you blue in the face. If one person chooses that they want to go their own way, there's nothing you can do to stop them.
right, right,
And as long as you know that you did things biblically on your end, you need to ask for forgiveness from God because you are, God forgave all sins, and that is a sin. So I'm just not okay with people that just like, you know what, this is not working. I'm about to quit. Divorce. They don't do counseling. They don't
right,
fight.
right.
They
Of
don't.
course,
They don't
right.
fight. They don't make an
Mhm.
effort.
Right.
They just quit. They just, I'm done. That's not
Yeah, that's
biblical,
totally different. Right, that's totally different story.
But if things become so bad where things are violent, people's life is being risked, or a person just simply walks out and they no longer want to be in your presence, and they're done with you. There's nothing you can do about it.
Mhm, mhm.
You seek the face of God. You ask for prayer and forgiveness, which I did. I asked for prayer. It's even though it's not something that I made happen. I asked for forgiveness. I gave the person what they wanted, and God rewarded me down the line with somebody who wants to be with me for the rest of my life. Divorce. There is divorce is a sin. So you got to ask for forgiveness, regardless of how you look at it, and you ask God to help you not go through that again. Because
Right, 'cause I right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to insert that I don't think that most people in their right mind, I don't think they just get married to get divorced. I don't think
hmm
that's the ultimate goal, but I do believe that if there is, divorce should not it should be the very last resort, of course, but don't get to where you use your spirituality as a crutch. That's how I feel about it because sometimes people stay in marriages or relationships longer than they should, because they feel like they have to endure so much. And I don't think that God will want that for you. God does not want you to ignore red flags. God doesn't want you to ignore the toxicity that consistently happens in your relationship because there's something better for you. So I just,
But I think
I'm
that's a
like,
but that's to say God, but to say God ordains or is okay with divorce, then would be a contradiction of
I
the
didn't say
word.
that. I
No, I
didn't
didn't
say,
say you. I didn't say you said that,
oh,
but
okay.
that
Oh,
that can
oh.
that can be interpreted based off of what you're saying. So that's
Because
why
we tend to
that's
make decisions based on what our desires are. We don't always conform to what God,
yeah
desires for us. So
that's
that's
why
based
the
on our decisions. Mhm.
That's why I say the decision doesn't. When you make a decision, regardless of what decision you make, you need to be seeking God's face and make sure you're not making an emotional decision, because
Right,
too quite often we make a lot of the bad decisions based off of emotions. So you need to sit before God, and that's a major decision. So with that decision being made, you got to go before God, because sometimes you may be the problem that's causing things to be where they're at. But you want out because you're not getting what you want. And like
right.
marriage is a job; it's not perfect. And people go to work and work at a job they hate for 20
Yes,
years,
yes, but
and
they're so
then they don't.
dedicated.
But
Yeah.
they dedicated. But you
Mhm,
telling me you can't be dedicated to your marriage that
mhm.
benefits the family structure? So if you're willing to fight to make your job work, why not fight to make your marriage work?
I
Now,
agree.
if at the end of the day you still made that decision, again, I'm not condemning you because I am not the person to condemn anybody. But you need to make sure you go before God, because you don't want to if you do decide you want to get remarried, you don't want to run into the same situation again, and now you're habitually getting divorced because you ain't even
Right.
put God first.
Absolutely. And that, and yes, and that one, because I feel like when you in that space where you like you said, putting God first, but you also have to work on yourself
hmm
before you even get into the next relationship or the next
hmm
best thing. You got to be prepared for that. You got to prepare yourself for that, and you got to work on yourself.
hmm
And
I
with that
agree.
walk, but so I do appreciate you sharing that all those perspectives. I appreciate that. And so I want to do something with you. I
Okay.
don't know if you I don't know if you saw Pastor trying to play this game. He was so horrible at it.
Uh,
But
I seen the game. I'm ready.
okay, all right. So yeah, so please let's school your boy. Yeah, school your boy. So
I
I'm
got you.
gonna
I
throw some
got
things
you.
out there. Now I didn't have time to write them down, so I apologize for that. But I'm gonna throw some topics out there, random crazy topics that I'm gonna put out there. And I want you to do like a off the dome message about it or sermon about it, preach
hmm
about it. I call this game. I'm gonna try to do like a how they have like different segments where they have like the intro to it. I'm gonna have to work on that,
hmm
but I I
Okay.
call it I call it preacher how you read it. All right,
hmm
so I'm going to give you like I said, I normally have it written down, but I'm going to just say it out to you, and you're going to have
hmm
to preach about it until I give you the next topic, and it's going to just flow like that. You
Okay.
got it? Okay. Taking the corner of the peach cobbler.
There are things in life that are blessing. There are things that God has perfectly designed to taste well. But so when you get that corner piece of the peach cobbler, it
Mhm.
soothes the soul.
Yes.
It is warm
Mm.
and it is delicious.
Yes.
And when you allow somebody to eat your corner
Yeah.
of
Mm.
your peach cobbler,
Mhm.
that is a sin.
Mm.
And
Preach.
get beyond me, hungry, hungry hippo. Don't eat my corner. Don't eat my peach cobbler. Lord, the
Um,
Lord bless me.
pants. Men with their pants sagging to the ground.
See, when your pants are sagging to the ground,
Mm,
you
mhm,
giving the gateway to the enemy. Mm.
that's
Because
true.
what you're now saying is that what holds me up is now on the ground.
Mm,
W-
yes,
Now what you're saying is you can see all of me, high and low,
yes.
big and tall.
Getting that.
So you want to make sure your pants are up. So you're
Mm,
upright with God.
mm.
Upright
Yes.
with God. Hallelujah. Let the church
Hallelujah.
say, Amen.
Amen.
Your pants should not be tight. They
Yes.
should not be baggy.
Mm-mm.
When God makes your pants, they
Mm-mm.
fit perfectly. They
Yes.
fit the way they need to fit. They secure
Yes.
all the special areas when God creates those pants.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Leaving a ring around the tub.
See, I'm about to teach y'all something. I
You
need
better
y'all to
right
buckle
now.
in.
You take your time. Take your time,
I'm
Pastor.
about to tell you how good God is.
Tell them.
When you are cleansed
Yes.
and you come out the water,
Mm.
when you're truly cleansed, you'll leave a ring around
Wade
that tub.
in the water.
You'll leave a ring around the tub because you no longer filthy. You are clean by the Spirit.
Wade in the water.
You are clean. When God cleans
Mm.
you, He leaves a ring to show you where you were, and now to show you who you are.
Take me
Hallelujah!
to the
Look at church.
water. Take me to the
Make sure you're
water.
completely clean.
Take me.
Let's make sure you're cleaned up
Yes.
all the way.
All the way.
Amen.
Amen. Leaving just a fork in the sink.
So I don't like these people.
Mm, mm, mm,
The
mm.
kitchen is closed.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when God says stop, you stop. Why leave a fork
Mm.
in a sink?
Ah,
That's like leaving your sins
yes.
in your hand and continue to sin.
What? What?
Let God
Mm.
bless you.
Yes.
Let God use you.
Yes.
Don't be used by the devil, leaving stuff all around the house. In the kitchen sink. Clean
In
your
the
sink.
kitchen. All in the kitchen sink. Yeah.
You need to bury your fork.
Yeah.
You
Bury the fork.
you need to pick up your fork and walk.
Pick it up.
And
Wash the fork. Better
hallelujah.
wash the
Amen.
fork.
Amen.
Okay,
Amen.
one
Amen.
last one. Because I wanna hear this one because Pastor couldn't do this one. Pee, leaving pee on the toilet seat.
So when you think about filth,
Yes.
you don't want to leave no drops
Mm-mm.
around your toilet. Just like you
Mm.
don't want to leave no sins in your
Mm.
life.
Mm.
You don't want no drops of sins in your life. So
Mm.
clean your toilet. You are the toilet and clean yourself.
Clean as
Make
smooth.
sure you completely
Mm.
shake
Mm.
and shake off those sins just like you shaking that pee in that toilet. Don't leave pee all over the place.
Mm.
Stop leaving your sin on other people's seats.
Won't he make you clean
Amen. Amen.
inside? Won't he make you clean
Amen. Amen.
inside? Won't yes, Pastor Chris Hosey. Just so those sermons back that you see how you do it, Pastor Rand. So let this be a lesson to you, Pastor Rand. This is how you preach on the spot about the things that are so important to us that really matters and we take for granted, Pastor Rand. So when
No,
you
you got to give them some grace, some grace,
yes,
some
yes,
grace.
I know, but that's what I say. So when you come back on this platform, Pastor Rand, you better be ready because I'm going to test you again. I'm going to do this with you again. And, but yeah, but thank you so much, Pastor Hosey. You came
Mhm.
to play. You came to
I
play.
I appreciate
Yes.
you.
And you
Not
preach. But there's a couple of other questions I want to ask before we wrap up. But you preach, you preach.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I hope they received it. I hope they received that. Those messages. You don't be you cleanse, when it comes to cleansing.
Mhm.
You don't be leaving that ring around the bathtub. You gotta come in. Oh, you gotta come in clean.
Mhm.
Wipe that pee off the toilet seat. Yeah, don't be leaving that pee off the toilet seat. But Pastor Chris, I want to ask you. I enjoy the answers that I get on these questions.
Mhm.
So I want to ask you first. If you're able to have 5 people at the seat of your table, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
Mm. 5 people at the seat of my table. What just any table, just doing anything?
Any at your table, like you know how people have that saying like you at the seat you could have a seat at the table.
I don't know. That's a weird question because I don't really, I mean, it got to be people that's gonna give me knowledge. So take me back to, give me the Bible characters. I mean, Matthew, Mark, Luke. Give me the apostles. Give me
But no, but
5 of them.
could you give me give me like each person and why? Mhm.
I mean, the reason why the okay, so I'll give you a grouping. You can give me 5 apostles. The reason why I say that is because I want to know how it was to walk with Jesus. I really do. I mean, I know that may sound crazy, but I do. I want to know how it was to face persecution and the wisdom and the knowledge they got from being under Jesus. If we're gonna talk about outside the Bible, people from the Bible, um, I would. There ain't many people I would care to talk to. I know that may sound crazy.
No, no, this is your this is
Yeah,
your table.
I can
Mhm,
give you my granddad. Um, that's one. I love my granddad. I would love for him to meet my son. He did not meet my son,
mhm.
so I would love for him to meet them and get to know them. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's a good question. I don't know. I would have to think more about that.
'Cause like at the moment, because I mean it could change tomorrow, Pastor. But just at the
Mhm.
moment, you
I
said
don't.
your granddad and who else? It's not
I mean,
anymore.
I would want my sister. She
Okay.
just recently died.
Mm,
I would ask for I would try to mend our relationship so
and
that we're
right. See, there you go.
my father the same thing.
There you go.
Let me see, that's 3. Um, um, it's a guy named Nabil Qureshi. He was a Muslim that converted to Christianity. He's a
Mm,
great speaker. I would enjoy talking to him more
what's his
about
name?
Nabil Qureshi. I may be
Oh,
saying his last name wrong, but he was a great speaker.
okay.
Um, I would enjoy talking to him, just picking his brain about certain things. Um, I don't know. That's about 4. I gave you 4. I can't think of nobody else.
No, you have to have a fifth one. It got to be a fifth one.
Let me see. 5th one. Somebody that's dead.
It could be dead or alive, Pastor.
Oh, you said dead.
I said dead or alive.
Oh well, if the dead alive changes things, I would sit down with alive. Who would I sit down with alive? I can have one alive person. And my wife. Me and
Mhm.
my wife going. She wherever I'm at. Because I thought you said dead. She's my number one. That's who
Yeah,
I
dead
want
or
to.
alive.
Yeah, alive. Then my wife is number one. She always by my side. I want her there. Wherever I'm at, that's where I want her at.
All right, good, good, good. And
So
then who would get the piece of chicken and why?
my wife,
Why?
because she's my wife. She's first. She's number
She's first.
one.
Oh yeah,
Nobody
she's a priority.
unless Jesus sitting at this table, that would be my Jesus. Obviously, Jesus. If I'm adding to that 5, Jesus is on there, and he getting a big piece. But if but my wife outside of the people I named, my wife gets outside of Jesus. My wife gets a big piece of chicken.
All right, I hear that. So now, final question, Pastor. So, um, I love to ask this question. I took this question from the late James Lipton from Inside the Actors Studio. So,
Mhm.
Pastor Chris Hosey, when you enter into the pearly gates, what would you want God to say?
Well done, my good and faithful servant.
Yes, well done. I get that. I get that quite often.
Hmm.
And well done with this interview too, Pastor Chris. I really do appreciate you taking the time because I understand the demands of
Hmm.
home life and work life and ministry, all the demands that you have going on, and you took the time to sit with me. So I really want to
No
let you
problem at
know
all.
I appreciate this, and it's good to see you again. It's been a minute since I've seen you, so
Yeah,
it's good to talk
I
to you
was
again.
just I was just at your church this past Saturday for your men's prayer breakfast. I got to go.
Oh,
I was able to preach there.
oh,
Seeing
great.
I enjoy seeing my church family. I definitely gonna have to pick a Sunday that I'm not preaching to come see you all.
Yes, yes. I would love that. Yes. So I really appreciate you coming through. I hope that you return back again.
Mhm.
I really would love to have you back on. And so any final words, Pastor?
If nobody told y'all they love you, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's his that's his motto, you guys. That's his motto. Ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Chris Hosey, y'all.
Y'all have a blessed one.
Yeah, thank you so much for Pastor Chris to come through. I really appreciate that. I had to make sure that I had my bra on and I was ready to come in front of you and present to you, Pastor Chris. I do apologize for the delay in between because he had a lot going on apparently, but he made it and he pressed his way and he came before you with his story, his growth within his upbringing, his growth within the ministry, and how he was able to move through navigating through divorce and finding love again and building his family. And so I'm really proud of Pastor and what he's doing right now. And I really appreciate him. He had his game face on. He had his game. He really gave us some preachable moments, with the different I have to really, like I said, I got to really get that segment together, and that's what I'm going to call it. Preach it how you read it, or and also because I had Tamara sing it as she read it, so I have another segment, sing it how you read it. So I'm gonna make sure that I have the what you call it, the overlay, the which when you have the intro to the different segments. I'm gonna put that together. So because I want to keep that momentum going, doing these different interviews. I want to kind of add some fun into it, kind of, just make it more interesting, more lively. I want to make sure that you entered it into this and I want you to be able to sit through a live through and through without you feeling like you have to red ball it forward or feeling like you have to skim through. I want you to be able to enjoy my interviews and enjoy my commentary from beginning to the end. So that is the goal right now. But right now um, I'm still working on this thing. I thank you so much for being here. If you catch the replay, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it. I don't know. I might have to edit some delays out. I don't want to have too much space in between, but either way, you can still redball it nonetheless because I don't want you to miss out on um, this conversation that I had with Pastor Hosey. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and your patience through this. And in the meantime,